Previewing Week 14 in college football here at SBR Forum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We're joined right now by returning guest, college football analyst Steve from collegefootballwinning.com. Steve, thanks for being here once again with us.
Thank you for having me back again, Peter.
Okay, Steve is joining us via audio only by phone. Usually it does a video call, but now we have him audio only, so to anyone who's surprised by that. All right, let's start with UCLA and Stanford. That's the first game that you took. Stanford is an 8-point favorite, and of course, this is a rematch of the game that they played last week, where we discussed this on SBR Forum a bit. It was almost a game that UCLA would have preferred to lose. Now, though, they're an 8-point underdog. The line has gotten bet down from 10, and I guess the first thing you got to think is that UCLA plus the points is a play here.
I understand why you would say that. And I'm going to disagree with that, and let's see if, after I build my case, you don't agree with me. Okay, you know, the conspiracy theorists thought that UCLA was just tanking that last game last Saturday so that they wouldn't have to play Oregon up in Eugene for this Pac-12 Championship game. Well, I don't think that is the case. This year, when UCLA was held under 172 rushing yards, they were 0-5 against the spread. Now, that does include being held to just 73 rushing yards against Stanford this last Saturday. UCLA has been held under 4 yards per carry 6 times this season, and they were 1-5 against the spread in those games, once again including being held to just 2.2 yards per carry against Stanford this last Saturday. Stanford's rushing defense, as most people know, is #1 in the country against FBS competition. They allow just 2.36 yards per carry on average. Only one team has rushed for more than 4 yards per carry, and that against Stanford, and that was Oregon. And UCLA is not Oregon, as we all know. Stanford's running back, Stephon Taylor, who was last week's Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Week. He rushed for 142 yards against UCLA on 20 carries. He averaged 7.1 yards per carry. That's his season high. All of that was accomplished while he played just slightly more than 2 quarters against UCLA. Head coach David Shaw pulled Taylor out of the game early in the second half to rest him. Obviously here, Peter, there's no need to rest Taylor with over a month between this upcoming matchup against UCLA and the Rose Bowl, which is what they're playing for here and where Stanford would go with a victory. If this game is in any doubt whatsoever, Coach Shaw is going to keep his workhorse running much longer in this game. UCLA has more total penalties per game, total penalty yards per game than any other FBS team. They're ranked 124th in all those categories. Over the past 5 seasons, Stanford is 21-10. That's 67.74% against the spread at home, while UCLA over that same span, the last 5 seasons, is 11-18 against the spread away. That's just 37.93%. And now, as you mentioned, in pretty much most offshore books, you can get -8 right now with Stanford. In a rare recommendation, and this might annoy some people, but take out some of that worry and doubt and actually buy that extra point, because everyone knows 7 is a key number in football. So buy the point, get Stanford at just that touchdown, -7, feel good about it, and then watch Stanford playing at home, where they're 6-0 straight up. And again, one of the best against the spread teams over the last 5 years. Watch them play this Friday, and I think you'll be happy.
So you don't think that UCLA actually intentionally lost the last game so that they could have a rematch here?
If they did, there's almost only one way they could have done that. I don't believe the players were doing that. Jim Mora, who we know is a pro coach and has experience with this sort of jockeying for the right position in the NFL, if he did, you could only see that in his giving his workhorse running back Franklin just 11 carries this past week. But again, you're looking at Stanford's rush defense, and as we pointed out, UCLA will go as their rushing offense goes, and Stanford's rushing defense is the best in the country. So I think even if Jim Mora called this in that direction, I think going up to Stanford, going up to Palo Alto and playing there against the #1 rush defense in the country, I think he's out of luck, even if he did try to tank.
All right. Great preview. Steve from collegefootballwinning.com calls Stanford -8 the side here. Thanks.